Welcome in, everybody. This is the only time you will see us celebrate the Suns losing to the Clippers. That's right. They fall to the Clippers 119 to 114, but we're still celebrating here in the VIP lounge because that means the Suns will now face the Clippers in the first round of the playoffs. How you guys feeling? Espo Saul?
Season's over. Thank God. Even though we are in the dive bar, it's a happy dive bar, which is weird, which is very weird.
Yeah, technically a dive bar, but I chalk this one up as a win for us as Suns fans because, like I said, Clippers in the first round, I feel like that's the best option. I don't know how you guys feel. I know that you have to go through whoever it is you have to go through if you want to win a championship, but I like our odds against the Clippers, and I didn't really feel like facing the Warriors.
Likewise. I think most fans feel like that today. I think most fans were like, I don't know how to feel about this game today because the Suns were playing extraordinarily well, but they were able to do what the job was calling for, which was just lose the game so we could play the Clippers in this first round and see how it goes. And so it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, look, I'd kind of felt like maybe you wanted the Warriors because then you couldn't hear the Suns didn't take the most difficult path to the finals like we did in 2021 if they're on the road to that again. But who the hell cares? Just go out there, beat who's in front of you. And right now we know they need to get 4 wins against the Clippers. And tonight's game made me feel a lot better about that happening maybe in 4 or 5 games. So
I agree entirely. I mean, I know that the conversation around easier path or whatever, but this year it's such a mixed bag in the West, especially that I don't think you can really use that argument. And I think if you do, then you're grasping at straws, but that's me. But before we dive into more of that, let's take a look at this game because it was actually a really enjoyable game to watch. There were some standout players in this one. Espo, start us off by looking inside the box.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box? A 119-114 Suns victory in a loss against the Clippers. They lose, but they played very well, as you'll see in this box. They were 14 of 37 from 3. The Clippers only 5 of 23. Suns held their own on the boards. They played had 52 rebounds to the Suns 47. Clippers played 5 starters. The Suns played 1, and that's how you get a 119-114 loss that really is a victory.
I want to give a few flowers to Jocelyn Dale, to Darius Baisley, to Saben Lee. Those guys definitely, they wanted to win this game, it felt like.
It was a interesting game. Dude, they played with a lot of passion. They played with a lot of effort. It was nice to see Darius Baisley get some significant minutes and see what he can do. Saben Lee, man, whew, I'll tell you what, like when you look at him, he had some good moments this season. I would be shocked if the Suns don't bring him back next year, at least and maybe even in a more permanent role because you just love his aggressiveness. He doesn't seem like he backs down to anybody, and man, he almost posterized somebody earlier in the third quarter. I almost jumped out. I was like, "Oh shit, okay, all right." And then obviously Baisley had a couple dunks that were nice, and Jock started off the game very, very strong. Like it was a total team effort from that bench unit, and I love how EJ kind of threw shade at all the haters that were like, "Oh, well, the Suns don't have a bench. The Suns don't have a bench." They kind of do.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that is a big topic that we got from tonight's game, right? And we were talking about this on Friday as well when we knew that we were resting all of the starters. Gerald was saying like he's excited to see who steps up to the plate because obviously they're still out there trying to earn minutes in the playoffs from Monty. The guys have to show this is kind of like their last audition, if you will. So it was good to see that they took the challenge and ran with it.
Yeah, and look, Saben came out, and what I loved the most was he's playing defense against Russell Westbrook, a guy who has won MVPs, who's revered by a lot of players, and he took no shit from Russell Westbrook. Fouled him hard, didn't back down when Russ came after him, tried to posterize him later on. I like a guy that has no fear, and Saben came out and showed that. He actually reminded me a lot of Campaign when Campaign is at his best with that aggressiveness. And so maybe he does have a future. Maybe he is a guy that they look at. They're going to have a lot of question marks to answer in the offseason, but this was a chance for Saben to show himself. Baisley showed why James Jones was intrigued enough to trade for him and potentially keep him around in the long run. A couple dunks that were nice, a couple mistakes as well, but that's to be expected from a guy that hasn't played in a while. So and Jock came through the way we've seen Jock come through. Played great offensively, crashed the boards, and that's what you expect from him. And you'll see it in the playoffs too, because Monty will give him minutes when the matchup dictates. And I think this Clippers matchup may dictate him getting some minutes.
Yeah, I'm glad to see how Jock played today because we've talked about this a lot. He hasn't gotten a lot of minutes here as of late. So he had 15 points, 8 rebounds. He was 7 of 13. He also knocked down a 3, which was good. Like, this was a good game to boost Jock's confidence going into the playoffs, because you kind of need that when you're a guy who doesn't have normal minutes, right? When it's kind of always up and down or in flux, that's something that's really valuable for him. And he's talked about that, just trying to battle through the ebbs and flows of a season, especially not knowing when your name is going to be called. So this afternoon's game was really good for Jock, that's for sure. All right, you guys want to name our player of the game? Who will wear the flower crown? Because there's quite a few options in this one, but ultimately we went with Saben Lee. Congratulations on the flower crown. Saben Lee finished with 25 points, 9 assists. He also had 2 steals. I'm really proud of how Saben Lee has played in this game and all season that he's been with the Suns, because he's still on a 2-way contract, correct? So he won't be playing with the Suns in the playoffs?
No.
No, he's allowed to be around the team, participate in practice if I understand correctly, but he cannot play in game. So he'll be along for the ride though. So glad he got the run tonight and got to show what he's made of. I'm sure he had plenty of family members out there since he's from town, went to Corona, as they mentioned, I think 6 times on the broadcast. So
yeah, it almost wanted to make me throw up again today. But yeah, I mean, listen, being an Aztec aside, it was fantastic to watch him do his thing today. He was aggressive. He was assertive. He didn't back down. When he got the open shot, he took it, even though he's got kind of a flatter jump shot. But I mean, he made things happen. He got guys involved, and he was aggressive, and that's what you want to see out of Saben Lee. And that's his path forward. Is you got to be that dog out there and prove to Monty and company that you deserve minutes. And so I think he did a long way in establishing himself for a possible roster spot next year and maybe a more significant role. But we'll see. It was fun to watch him play.
At the very least, I'd like to see Saben Lee back next year on another 2-way contract. I know that was one of the things that came out in the CBA, was that now we have 3 2-way players that are allowed on each team. So Saben Lee should absolutely fill at least one of those, if not a full roster spot, if they can't figure that out. We also got flowers given to players from the Suns tonight in the Dan Marley Hustle Award. And that one went to Josh Okogie. So congratulations to J.O. Did you guys think J.O. is a recipient of this award this year?
No, 1,000,000%. Yeah. He was the heartbeat of that team so many times in so many games this year. Just the effort alone. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to pun it, but yeah, I mean, he displayed the most hustle out of any player out there all season long, consistently. He showed up every night. He might not have been a dynamic scorer, but he defensively, he brought it all the time. And he's definitely worthy of the award.
Yeah, I mean, he epitomizes what that award's all about. I mean, it's about the hustle, the heart, doing the little things, being ready whenever your name's called. I mean, there were points where he didn't play this season, and then he came back, and now all of a sudden he's a starter with the team that is a lot of people's favorites to win the West. So it's well deserved. I think it was Gilbert in the chat said honorable mention to Biz. I agree, another guy that deserves his love in that way. But I think J.O. and what he has the potential to do this playoffs too, he deserves the Marley Hustle Award.
I also think honorable mention to Torrey Craig because of what he was asked to do kind of last minute for this team. And we joke about it all the time. He gets hit in the face. He falls to the floor every game, it feels like, and he gets back up and he continues to play. So honestly, there were a lot of guys on the team this year that I think would have been deserving of this award. Josh Okogie, of course, one of them. But I think Bismack Biyombo and Torrey Craig also right there with him. So flowers to all of them. We're just going to give out a whole bunch of flowers today because I'm in a good mood.
Can I give out some?
Yes, of course.
Flowers to the camera crew at Lindsay's house. That she looks like she's in one of those 8K cameras like Fox used for their NFL coverage. I look like I'm using a Nokia phone in a hostage situation. Yeah. So thanks to your crew and for Emma for putting us next to each other.
Yes, yeah, fantastic. Well, I feel like I'm on my flip phone, so that's great.
You know, it was one of the benefits of getting that hand-me-down computer that I finally upgraded meant I could actually use a real camera now with this computer. So I'm not stuck using just the one that's on the front of my computer that I use for like Zoom calls and shenanigans like that. So flowers to them. All right. I do want to ask you guys real quick, though. Did you see all the crazy kerfuffles that went down in the NBA today?
Yeah,
absolutely wild. So Rudy Gobert threw a punch at Kyle Anderson, and then Mason Plumlee and Bones Highland got into it during our game. And then also Jaden McDaniels, he punched a wall and apparently fractured his hand as well. Emotions were running high today, and I'm glad it was not at all within the Suns organization.
Yeah, it was pretty wild to see all that today. I don't know what the hell is going on in the water in Minnesota. Those guys were super aggressive with themselves or each other instead of the other team. I don't know how they were able to pull off that W today, but they did. And so it's wild. And then today, obviously, the Clippers getting into it on the sidelines as well. Bones has had a rep for kind of rubbing teammates the wrong way. And I don't know if that's something that's just, a circumstance or if that's just who he is. I'm kind of confused about that one.
Yeah. How amazing is it that apparently the Jazz pulled off a heist in that Rudy Gobert deal more than we even thought? Rudy Gobert, not a great season, losing his ever-loving mind at the end. You see now Minnesota has no draft picks for eternity. And yeah, I feel like they gave up more in the Gobert, almost more in the Gobert trade than the Suns did in the Durant trade, and they got a play-in ticket and a punch thrown on their bench. Great work, guys.
Yeah, out of control. Somebody on Twitter was joking that the season started with a punch, and now it's ending with a punch. So we've just come full circle, full circle here. Now, when it comes to the Bones Highland and Mason Plumlee shenanigans, obviously, Saul, you had mentioned before the show started. We didn't see it on the broadcast, but they kind of made up pretty quickly right after they got into the little argument. Do you think that's something that will be water under the bridge by the time these two teams see each other again, or could it potentially bleed over?
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where, you get into it in the heat of the moment. I remember one time in high school, I got a teammate slapped me on the leg who was sitting next to me because he was mad at me. And then the coach kind of broke it up or whatever. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever experienced. Anyway, and then we were able to get by it, and we never even brought it up again because it's just like, all right, you're in the heat of the moment, you get mad, and you just move on. And so I think that's what it looked like to me. We'll see if there's any residual effects, but I think they'll be fine.
I would respond with a laugh if somebody slapped me. Like slapping on the leg seems like such a weird.
Yeah,
I'm pissed off.
It was to the side of my leg, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, all right. I wanted to say, use your words.
Yeah, but look, in the heat of the moment, like Saul's saying, like it's nothing. Like they argued on the court, fine. It's when it gets physical and punches are thrown, that's when you go next level. But the Clippers are going to be just fine come next weekend. So
all I know is, listen, if they just need a moment to chill out, maybe they should go to separate corners, right? Like you eliminate take yourself out of the situation, right? You go hang out, you maybe watch some of your shows. And if you're watching shows or live TV, highly recommend watching it on FuboTV, which is what I watched tonight's game on, which was phenomenal. Didn't have to deal with any weird pop-ups on the app or anything like that.
Yeah.
I already downloaded the app on my TV at home, which made it really seamless and easy to go. They've got 140 plus live channels of sports shows, movies, news, and more. And FuboTV has just been a lifesaver for us. I mean, we've only had it for a couple weeks here at PHNX, but I've already used it more than I probably should admit that I've used it, but it's just so handy. And it's one of those things that you can kind of take with you anywhere you go because it's mobile. Phone, computer, TV, whatever you're watching on, you can absolutely have a great time on FuboTV. So if you want to get in on the action and watch the Suns on Valley Sports, because Valley Sports will still be doing the first round of the playoffs, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Then you should definitely use the link in the description of this show to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
Yeah, unlike the Suns starters, I actually was hard working today. I was cleaning the garage while watching the game with Fubo on the app, and loved it every minute of it. I was highly engaged in planning our show, obviously, while I was cleaning the garage.
Were you also drinking a Four Peaks beer while you were cleaning the garage, Espo?
Was I? Look, I got like
wow.
4
How did I
here.
know?
I was prepared for a celebration in the walk-in closet today. So yeah.
I knew you would be prepared. Saul, we get it. It's your MJ flu game. You don't need to be drinking any Four Peaks beer. But if you guys want to stock up for the first round of the playoffs, make sure you stop by the grocery store and pick up your favorite Four Peaks beer. Also, the best place to take in the NFL draft is going to be at the Four Peaks Pub on 8th Street in Tempe. That is April 27th. And our PHNX Cardinals crew will be out there doing a live show throughout the entire draft. We'll be out there. So come hang out. It's the best place because you'll get live coverage of how this draft directly affects the Cardinals. So it's local, it's direct to you, and it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Good beer, great food. What more could you ask for? So you do have to be 21 years or older to enjoy Four Peaks beer, and we ask that you enjoy responsibly, but make sure you register for free at the link in our description of the show to take advantage of beer specials that will also be happening. Okay. So I do want to kind of go back to the first round of the playoffs. Obviously, we'll be facing the Clippers. And I know we talked about it off the top of the show, but like, what are your biggest takeaways as of right now? We'll go deeper into this in tomorrow's show, but just off the top of your head, biggest concern or least concern?
Biggest concern is that Paul George may be playing possum and may come back in this first round. That'll make it more difficult. That would be my main concern.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, there's not really much that concerns me about the Clippers outside of the fact that if you're the Suns, you just gotta come ready to play every single night. Don't take anything for granted. Yeah, the Clippers look sloppy tonight, but you know what? You look sloppy in 2 games against the manless Nuggets, and so you gotta play hard in the playoffs because everybody's coming with it and they're going to be ready to go, especially against the Suns, who the Clippers have been eliminated by here in the last 2 years. So I'm just excited for the playoffs. I'm so glad we're finally here. It feels like it's just been a death march for like 8 months. So I'm glad we're here. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
I agree. I think the Paul George potentially, if he does come back at some point in time in that first round, that'll obviously be another speed bump that you'll have to get over. And then Saul, like not getting lackluster, not getting complacent, knowing that your opponent is a little bit hobbled right now, missing one of their key players, making sure you actually show up for these games. But I also think that Zach in the chat brought up a really good point too. They said Suns got to tighten it up in the third quarter. The Clippers are good in the third quarter, which we did see that last night. Didn't the Clippers have like a 45-point third quarter against the Trailblazers?
Yeah, it was the Trailblazers, though. So,
but still,
the same team that gave up almost 160 to the Warriors today. So,
didn't they also, though, start the third quarter on a nice little run tonight?
Yes.
Was that the Clippers?
Yeah. They did.
Yeah. So that is something that we'll have to keep an eye out for since we've been talking about that third quarter with the Suns a little bit more than we'd like to as of late. But overall, I do think it'll be a pretty good, and hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, a really fun first round. And you know that we're going to bring you guys more coverage tomorrow. We're going to dive really deep into the Clippers. Gerald is going to be writing articles over at gophnx.com. So make sure you bookmark that and keep it open so that you can read all of his great content over there. And now is also a really good time to get your hands on some merch before the playoffs start. So if you are in the need for some new merch to rep your Suns squad, be sure to check out phnxlocker.com. They got a lot of really cool stuff over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you order the new Slim Valley Reaper turquoise shirt, if you order it today, you're going to be close to getting it in time for the playoffs starting next weekend. So
yes, you should.
We love that fast shipping around here for sure. Okay, so it's the time of the show where you guys are the most excited for. We're going to reveal who actually won our betting competition for the year of 2023. This was the final night or afternoon to place a bet, and we played it Jeopardy style. We kept it a secret from each other what our bets were, and we were allowed to bet as much money as we had in our account. So I'm nervous.
Before we start, I just want to say I felt like I gave it a really solid effort. Win or lose, I gave it everything I had. So let's go.
Okay,
we all didn't do that?
Hold on. Saul won. This is Saul playing coy here, screwing with us so we can have some giant celebration when this happens. That's what I'm predicting here.
I won it all.
I have no idea, and I'm so nervous. Okay, so Emma, show us what it was coming into today's game. Okay, so it was me with 296. Sorry, go ahead, Emma. Did you want to talk?
No, I'm so excited just for the new leaderboard.
Oh God. So I was in the lead at 296 before this game. Saul was in second with 236, and Espo was in third with 164. So what does it look like now? Oh my God. Saul, mother effing Bookman, what did you bet on?
Let's go! Let's go!
What did
if I had hit mine, I would have been right there with you, Saul. So
let's go. I started off. Dude, I was sweating my ass off that last minute of the game because I needed the Clippers to win by 5 or more, and they were fucking around. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I hit every single leg of this bet except for this, I'm gonna lose it. And thankfully, I came through. I needed Jock Landale to have 25 PRA. He got it. He got it, and then he came out of the game and never came back. Oh, my God. Josh Okogie, 20 PRA. Kawhi Leonard, it looked like he might not come back in the fourth quarter. He was at 29 PRA, and then he came back in. He got a couple buckets. Oh, my God. I did it. I beat everyone at betting because I'm the fucking greatest. Let's go.
I knew it was going to happen.
Wow. How much did
what
you
Lindsay
bet?
Let's see what Lindsay.
You
bet it all. Right?
I bet $235. I saved $1.63 just in case you went all in, Lindsay.
Oh my God, I'm so mad at you. I obviously did exactly what it was that I always do. And I took the safe bet. I just took the Clippers to win, but I put $250 on it. I kept an additional like 40 and some change just in case, because I figured the two of you would go all in as well. So I was like, if we all miss, then at least I've got some change left to potentially still win this one. Dang, I'm so mad at you, Saul.
Espo, how close were you?
Not even. I took Russell Westbrook to have a triple-double at plus 1050.
Oh, man. What was the stat line? I didn't
Not
see.
good. Not close. I can give you the exact stat line. You want it? Here we go. Drum roll, please. Russell Westbrook, 25 points, 8 assists, 1 steal, 0 blocks. And, I guess it was closer than I thought. He had 7 rebounds as well. So I was within shouting.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah,
he got a lot of that in the last 5 minutes of that game, though. So
Lindsay, I can't believe that you went a minus 450. There were so many other things you could have done.
I know, but I assumed that you and Espo would take a big swing, and I was banking on your swings to miss.
Yeah.
Like I just was. I was like, why am I going to go out on a limb here and like swing for the fences when I'm up, and maybe the two of you will do that and bet all your dollars and lose. That's what I was banking
Well, to be fair, she was right. If you hadn't gotten that last leg, she would have won just by doing that. So
Yeah.
She would have. Emma, can I see that leaderboard one more time?
It's not bad though. At the end of the day, it's not bad.
I got over 1,800. Let's go. I'm so pumped about this.
Okay, but overall, wait, put those numbers back up, please, Emma. Overall, this is not a bad looking leaderboard except for Espo. Saul, you finished the second half of the regular season with $1,822 in your account. I finished with $602 in my account, and Espo, you finished with $0. But Saul, you and I, like, we made a pretty penny here, so that wasn't a terrible competition. Like, I may have lost, but I still won.
This is true. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. I will say this too. To be able to leave my living room and come to this room and not like give it away. Like when Kawhi was dribbling the clock out, I literally found magic energy and I like skipped because I knew I was like, there's unless Espo hit big, because I knew Espo was going to take a swing, but I just didn't know what the swing was going to be. I was like, unless Espo hit big, I'm pretty sure I was going to beat Lindsay because I know you were gonna try and take it easy. Yeah, I'm the champ.
So
well, congratulations.
Can we put the leader?
Here's your flower.
Emma, put the leaderboard back up one more time. Yeah, I would have beaten you by $70 if I had hit.
Oh man,
that would have been unbelievable.
You get a super chat from Han. They said, "How is Gerald?" Which I think they mean Espo. How is Espo more accurate with his tinfoil hat calls than his bets?
Because I actually put effort into my tinfoil hat calls. I swing big, and I had fun, and I left with exactly what I had when I came in, nothing. So
that's fair. That's completely fair, Espo. I don't blame you for swinging for the fences and having a little bit of fun with this competition, because at the end of the day, that's what it was all about. We were just going to be having a little bit of fun. All right, now that you guys know, you can send Saul flowers at Saul_Bookman if you want to on Twitter and congratulate him on beating both Espo and I. If that's not your cup of tea, you can also just head on down to Octane Raceway and Mavericks for a little bit of fun. This spring, the weather is getting warmer outside. We're going to be wanting to do more things indoors here soon. And Octane Raceway and Maverick have you covered. They've got kart racing. They have virtual reality. They've got laser tag, axe throwing, bowling, arcades, great food and drinks. And if you want to check out the action, head to octaneraceway.com or mavericks.com to learn more. They have specials every single day of the week, from $15 unlimited fun pass on Monday. On Saturday and Sunday, they have 50% off signature bowling before noon. All types of specials. It's great for a date night or a family outing, whatever you're looking for. Again, check out octaneraceway.com or mavericks.com to learn more. So it was fan appreciation night. Yeah, what's up?
No, I was going to say, are we going to discuss the playoffs?
I was going to discuss it tomorrow in the show more in depth. But what do you want to talk about?
Just who's playing who, like how shook out. So right now, because of the Minnesota Timberwolves victory over the Pelicans went from possibly being the 5 all the way down to the 9 now. And they're going to play OKC in New Orleans. The Lakers are playing at home against the T-Wolves. Winner gets the 7 seed. Losers got to play the winner of the 9-10 matchup. And then obviously we got the Clippers, and then Sacramento and Golden State are the matchup in the first round as well. Memphis is waiting in the wings for that 7 matchup. So, and then in the East, you got Toronto and Chicago as the 9-10, Miami, Atlanta as the 7-8, Milwaukee is the top overall seed, Cleveland Knicks, which I think is going to be the best first round matchup outside of the Warriors Kings, 4-5, Philadelphia, Brooklyn. So Mikal Bridges is going to get an opportunity to beat possibly the MVP this year at the 3-6 matchup, and then Boston is the 2 seed in the East.
A lot of movement today, that's for sure. It's crazy how much in the West things moved literally down to the last minute, like, and so drastically as well.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was interesting. I feel bad for Gerald. He was trying to do the math on Friday night after the game. Math that the NBA was like, we'll give you tomorrow because we don't even want to do this math right now. And then yesterday with that tweet that kind of broke down what the implications were as far as the Suns and the Clippers and the Warriors for tonight, that I know somebody in the pregame show was joking about, like, his tweet hurt my head because it was just so much. This year was crazy in the West.
Yeah, it was nuts. And it came down again to craziness in that final day. And I think it's going to be the same in the playoffs too. I think this is going to be, at least in this first round, a knockdown, drag out kind of a couple of weeks in the West. That Kings Warriors series is going to be fascinating to see just how real the Kings are, and if the Warriors can just flip that switch like everybody seems to think that they may be able to do. And then I'm fascinated with the 7-8 matchup there in the play-in with the Lakers and Timberwolves. I'm excited to see how that plays out and see if the Timberwolves can hold it together with duct tape enough to beat the Lakers and force the Lakers into 2 must-win games before they even get to the playoffs. Because I actually kind of like the idea of a Nuggets-Lakers first-round series. That would be a hell of a lot of fun to watch Jokic versus AD and LeBron there.
So what I think is fascinating is that I could see the Lakers winning that game against the T-Wolves, moving into that 7th spot against Memphis, which means that you have Sacramento, Golden State, Memphis, and the Lakers in that bottom half of the bracket. But to me, the intriguing part is the possible matchup of the Pelicans facing the Denver Nuggets in the first round of that 1-8 series. I tell you what, Denver didn't look very good down the stretch, really, for the last month. We saw how tough it was for us to play the Pelicans in the first round last year. It'll be equally as tough this year. The Pelicans are no joke. That matchup is a difficult one for Denver, and so it's fascinating to see where that could possibly go.
Well, and the biggest thing looming over Denver's head is their coach literally called them soft the other night. Like, whatever is going on within that locker room doesn't appear to be great from the outside looking in. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything that's going on in that locker room, but to outwardly basically call your team soft is not a good look. And I think that speaks to potentially bigger issues behind closed doors.
Yeah, I don't want to see them get bailed out and get to play Minnesota in round 1. Like, I feel like that is an easy path for them. And I want to see them get challenged, just like, every other team in the West is going to get challenged in this first round. No free lunch here for the Nuggets and a free pass into that second round. Give them LA, give them the Pelicans, anybody but Minnesota. So
Derek in the chat said Mike Malone is old school motivating them, which that might be the case. And I don't know how those players will react to that. I don't know them well enough, but maybe if we do end up facing the Nuggets at some point in time, we'll bring in some of our friends from over at DNVR to give us a little bit more insight to what their players are and maybe some insight into how that locker room is. But we did get word from our very own Gerald Bourguet, who will hopefully be joining us here shortly. Game 1 of Suns versus Clippers will be on Sunday. At the time is still TBD, but it'll officially be Sunday that we see those two once again. So it's a very long week ahead of us, waiting for the first round to actually tip off. But now we know Sunday is the day.
That surprises me. I thought for sure they'd be a Saturday game. I did not think they'd hold off till Sunday. So
I feel like Sunday, because wouldn't Sunday be like more of a prime time, like time slot?
I mean, it'd be,
potentially.
I mean, we'll have the ABC slot for sure.
Yeah, so that's all I'm thinking is maybe it's just because they think that that's a big draw potentially. You still technically have an LA market. Granted, it's not the Lakers fan base, but it's still an LA market. And maybe people are leaning in to the Suns right now a little bit more than they were 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, look at the way our bench played today. So hopefully they'll lean in a little bit more. We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Kevin Durant, Kawhi, that's a lot of star power. So
yeah, it is.
It is. So it was fan appreciation night down at the Footprint Center. And obviously the Suns organization was showing a lot of love to the fan base, but they also showed a lot of love to Al McCoy, who, as you all know, is retiring as the voice of the Phoenix Suns after 51 years. And at halftime, they had a celebration on the court. And we got a little glimpse into what he said to all of us during that celebration.
To play the game is great. To win the game is greater. But to love the game is the greatest of all. And my 51 years have been the greatest of all. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in this arena this afternoon, to all of those that are watching and listening on radio and TV. Thank you for allowing me to tell the story of the Suns for 51 great years.
That was really sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be tough for him to try to encapsulate 51 seasons and what it all means to him. But per usual with Al, it was very eloquent in the way he expressed that, and he will be missed. Obviously, he also said, this was nice, but there's a lot more wins we got to go get. So I like that attitude too. He looks at it and he goes, all right, yeah, but there's still 16 more. I'd love to be able to call and be a part of. So let's go win it for Al. Congratulations to him, and shout out to Matt Ishbia, who understood the moment well enough to say, look, I've only known Al for a little bit of time. Here's Jerry Colangelo. He can tell you better about what Al means. So
yeah, my first reaction to that was I don't know if Robert Sarver would ever. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that Ishbia did was just a testament to how he's already understanding what this fan base is all about, and that's fantastic. And it was so cool to see Jerry Colangelo there right next to Al, because I feel like those two are synonymous with each other, especially with the origins of this organization. And it's been fun. It's been fun to listen to Al over the course of, for my life, 4 decades. He's one of a kind. He's like we talked about before. He's of that Chick Hearn caliber. Vin Scully type of voice, and we got to win it for Al. That's just how this is going to go. Like, we just got to win it for Al, because he's the legend, and we got to push this thing as far as we possibly can, because the day he signs off, man, it's going to be emotional.
Yeah, that's go ahead, Espo.
I was just going to say, Ken in the chat has a heartfelt question for us. What will our goodbye speeches be after 51 years of PHNX Sports?
Well, I will be 94. So
that's pretty much where Al's at, is it not?
Yeah.
You could do it, Saul.
He's 91, I think.
You can
yeah.
Saul and I.
Go ahead, that's well.
I was going to say, Saul and I will look like the 2 old guys from the Muppets, sitting in the balcony, trying to tell you how we feel after 50 years of this. I'll be 80, like 88 at 50-year mark. You'll be in your 90s. Yeah, well, I will not sound or look as good as Al at that point. I can promise you that much.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it'll be emotional for a lot of people in the Valley, that's for sure, when he finally signs off for the last time. And honestly, I know we keep saying like win it for Al, but what an amazing storyline if that actually ended up being the case. Like, it literally writes itself. You know what I mean? So, not to jinx it or anything or get overly emotional, but it would be really incredibly cool to see.
For sure.
So there's not a good transition out of that. Again, seems to be every time we talk about Al, the transitions get harder and harder. But I got good news for you guys. Gerald is on his way to joining the show with updates from Monty and the players. But first, let me tell you about our friends over at Circle K. You know how much I love Circle K, whether it's Polar Pops or iced coffee or getting gas on the way to work, because it seems to be the only place that I drive back and forth. But Circle K Their locations are plentiful around the valley, so you can always find one close by. Like I said, the iced coffee that they have is only $1.89. They've got 12 packs of beer for $9.99. They've got Red Bull 3 for $8, or Monster, if that's your thing, 3 for $6. So make sure you're not missing out on all this great stuff. Head to circlek.com/store-locator to find a Circle K near you. And I know I told you about our hangout happening at Four Peaks on April 27th for the NFL draft, but we also have a hangout happening next Saturday, April 15th at Illegal Pete's. So join our PHNX Sun Devils podcast out at Illegal Pete's in Tempe on Saturday, April 15th at 10 a.m. for the pregame ahead of ASU football's spring game. The crew will be doing a live show out there, and they got $3 margaritas all day long. And these are amazing margaritas. Illegal Pete's has some of the best margaritas in town. Every single person I've ever talked to who's had a margarita there has loved it. So make sure that you come and hang out with us. But if you can't join us that day, Illegal Pete's has happy hour every single day from 3 to 6 p.m. So make sure you take advantage of that. Illegal Pete's is your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Okay, Gerald's here, everybody.
Hey!
Beyond the lights, there shall only be one. Welcome to
Hi, Gerald.
Hi, Gerald.
I can't hear or see you guys right now.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Girth broke it.
Well, I guess we gotta wait for him to fix this stuff.
Yep. You all saw Gerald. Bye.
Well, he told us he can't see us, and I'm trying to just give him hand signals of what to do. Stupid.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Well, we'll try again. We'll get Girth in here at one point in time. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But as Aussie Suns fans pod said, haha, the standard Girth technical difficulties. It's not Girth's fault. It's the Footprint Center's fault.
Hold on. I love that I've been on a show from this walk-in closet with Aussie Suns fan pod in Australia. No technical issues. Gerald is at the Footprint Center, usually about 2 miles from us. Not even that much, a mile from us at the studio, and he has these issues. Hey, can you hear us, Gerald?
Now I can hear and see you.
There we go. Gerald.
Yes.
Big news tonight. Now Lindsay's on mute.
Oh, guess, Gerald, guess. We want you to guess.
Who won their bet?
Hey.
Who won the overall
Who do you think
thing?
won?
I think it was Lindsay.
Nah.
Did you really?
The champ, baby. Let's go.
What a last-second comeback.
First of all, I Dallas Mavericks these guys in the 7th game is what I did, because I destroyed them. I won by almost $1,000.
Wow.
Over 1,000. It was 1,200.
I think you won by 1,200.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to dance, but I'm kind of dancing.
What kind of bet did you hit?
Right?
I mean, it wasn't that hard, really. I do this every day. No, I'm just kidding. So Clippers had to win by 5, so that last minute I was kind of stressing it. And then just Kawhi 30 PRA, Jock 25 PRA, Josh Okogie 20 PRA, and Jock had to get over 7.5 rebounds, and they all did it.
Wow, very impressive. That's tough wins.
I
Anyway,
know.
I just want to pat myself on the back one more time.
I did finish with like $600 and some change, so I won't say that it was a complete loss, but it does suck that I took the L in the 7th game.
Gerald, if you see Russell Westbrook before he gets on the bus, can you give him an evil look for me? Because if he had 2 more rebounds and 3 more assists, I would have won the whole thing. So.
Oh, that's brutal.
If ifs were a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Thank you, Lindsay. I literally was about to say that right there. Yes.
Let's be honest, Saul wouldn't after the kind of night he had. So.
All right, Gerald, let's dive into this game. Obviously, the Suns were messing around a little bit here. We all were wondering if they got the memo that maybe they should lose this game. Ultimately, they did. The Suns will face the Clippers in the first round of the playoffs, but What was your overall perspective on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fight from these guys. There were only nine of them out there, and they played hard. I loved, what Jock was able to come in and do, and he was saying it was good for him the last couple of games to get out there and have that continuity with the second unit. And if you hear what sounds like gunshots, they're working on all the speakers in here because we had that mishap during the game where that speaker was kind of dangling and they had to pause the game for a little bit. So they're battening down the hatches literally before the playoffs here. But no, I thought it was great, and Jock was happy to be able to go out there and produce and basically tell the coaching staff, look, if you need me, if you need to throw me into the fire, I'm ready for whatever situation. So, and it wound up being a loss. You could look at the last couple minutes and see the defense loosened up a little bit compared to what we're used to seeing from the Suns. But I loved their effort on this. It was good to get some of the bench guys extended minutes. And now we get to see the Clippers again a week from today.
You bring up having to see the Clippers again. The Kawhi stopper, Ish Wainwright. Get my issues confused all the time. Ish Wainwright got hurt in this game. Did you get any update on him?
Yeah, I asked Monty about him, and he was saying that he took a shot to the ribs. They initially thought he took a shot to the throat or the face, but it's a rib contusion, so it's something they're going to monitor this week. But the Suns are going to take the next 2 days off. Their first practice is going to be Wednesday, so that gives guys a chance to heal, to rest up a little bit before they get back to the grind. I don't think it'll be anything major, and Bismack Biyombo is also hopeful that he'll be out there for the playoffs campaign as well. So hopefully everyone will be right by the time this series gets started next Sunday.
How thankful are you that the season is over?
I'm so excited, man. I'm so ready for playoff basketball, and like these last couple of weeks have been just crazy with guys resting and the 4 seed locked up and guys in and out of the lineups because of injuries or rest, whatever. Like I'm ready for some meaningful basketball for sure. It's going to be exciting.
So you mentioned that the game will obviously be on Sunday. Do you have any idea of when we find out what time the game will be at?
I would assume either later today or tomorrow is probably when we'll get indication on that. The NBA just released their tentative schedule in terms of who's playing on what day. I think the Suns are the only team that the matchup is already decided that's playing on Sunday. The rest will be like play-in teams. But yeah, hopefully we should have that either later this evening or tomorrow.
Did Monty or any of the guys kind of give you any insight into how they will plan out this next week before seeing the Clippers again to start the first round?
Nothing specific aside from the fact that they're taking into account what happened last year. They had obviously that week off and couldn't really prepare for their playoff opponent because they were playing a play-in team. So he said that what happened last year in terms of how they approached that week informed their decision-making on this, but they've been looking at this upcoming week for a while in terms of what they want to do from a conditioning standpoint, from maintaining sharpness and focus and all that stuff. And I think now that we know that they're not going to practice for the next 2 days, I think it involves first and foremost just getting guys healthy, getting guys some rest and a couple of well-deserved days off before they get back to the grind on Wednesday.
Somebody is saying in the chat that it looks like it's a 5:15 local start time on Sunday.
He also said he's guessing.
Yeah, I'm trying to confirm that, obviously. So,
yeah,
well, we'll tweet it out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think they might have the Sunday, like whatever the primetime game is on Sunday, they'll probably be that game. But I guess it depends on who the other play-in teams are.
Awesome.
Gerald,
Thanks, Gerald.
Do you know the last time that the Suns faced the team that they closed out the regular season against in the first round of the playoffs?
It wasn't the Pelicans. It wasn't.
It was way before you were born. So.
Oh well, then no, I have no idea.
1975-76. They faced the Seattle Supersonics in round 1 after facing them in the final game, and you know what happened that year? First time the team ever went to the NBA Finals. So, and Al McCoy was on the call. So there you go.
Well, there we go.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Let's do this thing.
Thanks, Gerald. We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, you can follow Gerald on Twitter at Gerald Bourget for all of the updates and all of the links to the articles that he's going to write over at Go PHNX. So make sure you do that. All right, gentlemen, to round out today's show, obviously it was Fan Appreciation Night at the Footprint Center, but I also think we need to have a little bit of appreciation here. I know I tell you guys every single show as we sign off that we appreciate you, but genuinely, from the bottom of our hearts, we really do appreciate you. I feel like we know so many of you just from talking to you in the chat on a regular basis. Like some of you are in here every single day, and it means the world to us. And honestly, we wouldn't be able to do this without you. I know that you guys know that, but it's just been so much more fun with you guys. And it's been a real pleasure and a real joy to have these last couple of seasons together.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You know, one of the cool things about doing this is just kind of building that community up and seeing how many people just return time and time and time again. And it's really, really cool. And trust us, it doesn't get lost on us how fortunate we are to be able to do this and bring you cool content from time to time. So thank you.
Yeah, shout out to some of the regulars, Aussie Suns fan pod, Chris, Tashi D, Colt 23. I'll give you a shout out, even though you're always crapping on the Suns. So Frank's in the chat, just dropped a super chat. Says, Espo, do you appreciate me? Yes, I appreciate you, Frank Kaminsky. Thanks for being in the chat. There's just so many people that are here all the time. Eli, so says Jay, my lawyer, who always tries to protect me from stupid things I say. Everybody, I appreciate everybody that supported us along the way.
Yeah, Basketball Cthulhu, Charles Coulter is usually in here. Hello is usually in here. Jose Sisoayama. I don't know how to say that last name, but I'm trying.
Kyle B, Psycho Blue, Tim from Phoenix, MCG Blue, Sunderus, Dunks or Punks, depending on which one you want to go by.
For sure.
Ads not from AZ. I see you in there, Brian. Yeah, there's so many. It's become very much like it sounds cheesy, but it has become like a family, and it's fun to see you guys. Whether it's 3 p.m. on a random Tuesday or post game after a big win, like it's fun to be able to hang out with each and every one of you. And guess what? We get to do it for the entire playoffs. We're here along with you, so let's have some fun.
Yeah, and we're not taking next week off. So I know there's a week in between games for the Suns, but we'll be here. We're still going to have shows pretty much all week long. We've already got a whole bunch of really cool guests lined up that will come in and we'll preview Suns versus Clippers, and we'll talk about some other cool things. So make sure you guys are around and ready. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo, but we will for sure push out the links and let you know. Every single show this week is going to be at 3 p.m. So that's pretty easy from a planning standpoint because there are no games. But come hang out with us because we've got some fun stuff in store for you guys. Cool.
We will. Is it time? Do I get to do the send off? Is it time?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Look, it's over. We made it through 82 games. The playoffs are here. Let's celebrate. Let's go. Ahoy, ahoy.